if you go around the river, the island here, you're at the original head of the falls. So that was a fishing station for over 5,000 years. Many, many generations of native peoples. Where you see the bridge come across onto the Richmond shore in 1719, on the site where white people had been for many years, they built a defensible house that became Fort Richmond. And it was a place that the native people came and felt that they were treated fairly at the fort. Although unfortunately Chief Bombacine's widow is described as begging outside the door. The village itself here, where we're standing right now, was known as White's Landing, even though this was called Richmond. And it was two school teachers who gave up teaching school who came here and settled on the shore. And immediately there was a huge forest fire that burned thousands of acres of wood. So they set up a cordwood business to ship it to Boston. And then about 1835 till 1857 is when most of the village was built in the shipbuilding days. Then there was a great financial falling out nationwide, and it was the 1880s again with the ice industry, where there were over 45 sets of buildings, 6 and 7 stories tall, each set of buildings having up to 9 rooms, each as big as a soccer pitch, brought more wealth to town. And then World War I came along and we died back. And then there were some hardscrabble farms, and about 1950, many Eastern European people moved here. A lot of people call them the Russians of Richmond, but they're really about 16 different nationalities, all Eastern European. And now we have a very substantial town today. And I think whereas in the past it was ships, timber, ice, now it's the transportation system. We're ideally located with the roads and the rivers to go wherever we want. So it's been referred to as the hole in the donut. But it's a jelly donut, so enjoy your day. And I'll be here. Anybody has any questions about history, I'll give you an answer, and if I don't know the real answer, I'll make it up. And I will say one thing. I'm looking at my friend Jonathan here. Many of us know the Gardner estate up the river in Gardner, the big Upjohn Castle. Well, just back this way is another house that dates from the 1700s. And Mr. Gardner sent some painters up to paint a Native American scene, an Indian scene, and if you go in there, they're brown-skinned people with turbans on their heads. And so they kept it. But I mean, it just shows you how misunderstood the people were back then.
He probably went down to the southwest and saw some Cherokee, because that's what they wear, is the turbans down that way.
They do?
And the Seneca wear kind of a turban-like headdress too. Yeah.
But they really look like from India.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrong continent.
And I apologize, I didn't introduce Jay Robbins, our town historian, but he's been invaluable in organizing this event, and he has a plethora, an encyclopedia, a university library of information about this town for people who are interested. And I know that our fireman comes from 4th generation of Richmond. I'm sure he has questions. Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you.
Thank you.